is live. Yep. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you're all having a great Saturday. We are here with a team of counselors to share some insights on how career guidance is really the need of the hour. And I have with us Ms. Paridhi, who's from MentorMe, who's our business development manager. And I have Ms. Sandhya with us. She is currently with Indus International as a counselor. And Ms. Bharti, who's a psychologist, and Mr. Sushant, who's a career counselor with Pratibha School. So I'll hand it over to Paridhi so she can, introduce everyone, and then we will dive into the session.
Sirisha, your voice was lagging for me a little bit. Am I audible clearly? Should I start with the
Yeah.
session?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Welcome everybody on board in our session today. Uh, I am Paridhi and I work with MentorMe for partnerships for the career guidance. And we, as an organization, we help schools in setting up their career guidance ecosystems and also in their new age learning. Joining us on the call are our expert career counselors and psychologists who will be discussing with you all different elements of career guidance, the challenges which are being faced by students in India. So I would like to welcome Ms. Sandhya Kamble, a college counselor at Indus International School, Pune, who excels in guiding students towards successful academic and career paths. She has an expertise in global education systems and she has placed students in top universities worldwide, whether it's USA, UK, Canada, and others. And her personalized support empowers students to explore their interests, develop key skills, and navigate college applications confidently. I would take a chance to welcome Mrs. Bharati Devi. She is a psychologist, a trainer, and author, and she specializes in counseling and personal development with over 70,000 therapy sessions for children and impactful training on personality development. She is a trusted expert. I would also like to welcome Mr. Sushant. He is a passionate career counselor with over 5 years of experience in guiding students and professionals towards fulfilling career path. And he has a master's in clinical psychology and a postgraduate diploma in school leadership and management. Joining me on the call is also Ms. Sirisha, co-founder of MentorMe. Her recent initiative at MentorMe is focused on career guidance and training. And prior to her entrepreneurial journey, she worked in corporate world for 20 years, including over 7 years in the manufacturing sector and holding managerial and leadership positions in various brands like Alcon, Acuity, EY, Genpact, and Tesco. So I would take this chance to welcome you all and begin with our questions for the panel. So I would take a chance to, first of all, go to Miss Sandhya and ask her that you have a lot of experience as a college counselor and you support students with career and admission guidance. So in your experience, do you believe students have sufficient awareness of the various career paths which are available to them? So I give the floor to you, Miss Sandhya.
Thank you so much, Ms. Paridhi. A good morning to everyone. And yes, to answer your questions, our students have a very limited understanding of the diverse career options which are available and the diverse career paths, that is available to them. While they may be aware of the traditional career paths, which is medicine, engineering, law, etc., they often lack the knowledge about emerging fields, the niche industries that we have today, and the various roles within established careers. For example, now engineering, there are various types of engineerings that have emerged. In the traditional engineering, we talk about mechanical or civil. That is what usually the students prefer, and the families want their children to pursue the traditional kind of engineering. However, there are various types in that, like tissue engineering is something that has come up, and there's not much awareness about that. So tissue engineering is all about cells, and how do you work on damaged cells, how do you come up with various patterns and the DNAs, etc. So tissue engineering is something that has come off very kind of recently, and it's growing popularity, and there is not much awareness about this. Also, if I talk about careers in fashion design is something which most of us know. However, if you talk about fashion, there are so many careers, and it's a very big umbrella. Now, my one of my student is going for fashion styling. So fashion styling is completely different from fashion designing, right? So just to give you a brief, fashion styling will take care of your overall look, right from your clothes, your accessories, your makeup, your hair, etc. Now, so these are basically the differences. Fashion, we just think it's a one field. However, there are many branches to it. There's fashion journalism, there's fashion business. So I feel that, yes, I mean, there is a little awareness that has been spreading. However, it's not happening on a larger scale. It's very limited school, I would say, international schools that are kind of uh, giving the exposure to the students. And yes, I mean, I feel the lack of awareness could be attributed to several factors, like limited exposure, lack of guidance to the students, because most of the schools, the career counseling departments are missing, which is a need of the hour, and this could be one of the reasons. So it is very important that we, as human beings, as individuals, it's our responsibility to guide our students, to make them aware of what are the career options that are available to them. So yes, I mean, that are my views on this topic. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Sandhya. I think yeah, very well said. There is definitely inclination towards conventional careers or the traditional career path still. There was a study which reveals that almost like 90% of the students are aware of only max 6 to 7 career paths, which are the most heard ones. And they really, like you mentioned, there's so many emerging careers coming up. Like you mentioned, fashion stylist. There's also food stylist, right? So there are many more such careers which the students are not aware of. They really need to be aware of so that they can, leverage their skills. They can leverage their passion and work towards something that's emerging, because there is always lesser competition in such niche lines, and there is higher chance of success.
So
Uh, Ms. Bharti, do you think students feel very stressed out about deciding a right career or choosing the right subjects? And what is the main reason of their stress?
Actually, yes. Choosing a career path is usually happens in a very young age, which leads to highly stress because they don't know exactly what their needs and wants are. They are not in a position to know their interest. So for some students, the career choice are pre-decided by the parents. The parents will take up the full complete decisions, though they are not letting the child to decide. In India particularly, it's happening everywhere. And so thereby going through a lot of stress and pressure, obviously, and these pressure affects the mental health of the students. As a result, their grades gets affected, and they focus on getting good grades instead of acquiring knowledge. So they are focusing only to get good marks. They're running towards the marks, and this is not the way actually they should acquire knowledge. So they were overwhelmed with the feelings of extreme sadness and of hopelessness. So obviously, yes, they feel stressed.
if I may just add to this point, Ms. Shirisha, like ma'am mentioned that yes, there's a lot of pressure and stress in terms of deciding what career to choose, and it's all about academics. So yes, I mean, I totally agree with what she's saying. The setback of having a lot of career options is that which career to choose, this confusion, and out of which this pressure. So it is very important that we follow the right techniques, like going for personal assessments, which will help you clear your confusion, and you'll have clarity on what are my strengths, and accordingly we can work on that particular area in that particular career. So yes, I feel personal assessments and other techniques will help us, give us the clarity, and choose the right career that kind of fits your strengths. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Totally
Exactly,
a valid
exactly.
point. Yeah, yeah, I think
And as a
both.
psychologist, even we use a lot of, psychological tools and assessment to know the level of their stress. So obviously, yes, they need to know exactly what their, interest. So by finding it out through some tools and assessment will be very much helpful for them to know their exact, needs.
Yeah, I think very well said. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, psychometrics and different sorts of assessments that are available nowadays do help us. In guiding children, at least identify the right career or right educational path for them. And definitely, it's like a stress reliever, right? Like a scientific way or a scientific approach to it. One point that I wanted to add to what Miss Bharti said, everybody is running, for grades, ranks, especially these competitive exams like JEE or NEET or civil services for that matter, UPSC. The point what we want to bring out here is the stats. If you look at them, it's very shocking. The JEE success rate is like merely 2%. That is 20 lakhs will write, and hardly there is 20,000, 17,000 seats available in JEE. Similar is a pattern with even your NEET medicals seat. If you see, lakhs of students are writing, but barely there are any seats. So I think parents as well as students should understand that when you're competing for these exams, it is fine if you don't succeed. You have to be willing to accept that failure. It's not always about the race, it's all about your passion, what you can do best. Each person has different skill level, each person has different interest, and it's perfectly fine if you haven't even succeeded in something like a JE or some other competitive exam. And when you really compete for such exams, I think you also have to have a plan B. Because there's so many various options available. Even if you don't get through that, have a backup plan, and I think that itself will be giving you a peace of mind. Even if you don't succeed, you have other things planned out, and you can proceed accordingly.
Sure, I just want to share one example here. I mean, I don't know how many of our viewers follow Virat Kohli and cricket, but recently he had put his transcript, his mark sheet on the social media for his fans to know and he had pathetic grades, just to tell you there, just to tell his fans and everyone else that grades doesn't matter much. It really doesn't depend upon what you're going to do in your career or in your future. So yes, I thought of sharing that example. So while it's very important that we work hard and we are on top of our academics, but we shouldn't be bogged down by the fact that if I am not getting those required marks, I cannot do anything in my life. So yes, definitely that's a myth that I would like to debunk here.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Miss Sandhya, on that. Okay. And Mr. Sushant, I'm sure you're dealing with a lot of children too. You are, working as a school counselor. You get to interact with the students a lot.
Yes.
How is career counseling, helping in how you as a career counselor are helping in preventing the stress among students, and what is your career guidance approach when a student approaches you for, guiding, taking guidance on a right subject or a right career or what they should do in their future? What is your approach? How do you start, and what all, what tools, or how do you actually support them?
Before answering your question, what I think is necessary into this career counseling thing is that the aspirants and parents, they should know the importance of career counseling. It's a service which has been run by expertise. It's a service. For an example, take that there's a company named as MRF which manufactures tires. Okay, and there are customers who will face issues. And now, if they go directly to the company, of course, that company is best in producing tires, right? They won't be handling customers. So there is a process which is called as BPO. So this business process is outsourced by some expertise company, right? So similarly, if you wanted to opt career counseling, or if you want to opt certain kind of career, then of course you should be approaching some expertise. uh, those are we. So that awareness is very necessary at very first, what I think so. And about your question regarding the stress management among students, if I have to counsel students for career counseling, I will put it into very first point where I can give them clarity and direction, right? The second one, I will be reducing the pressure and expectation which comes from parent, which comes from peers. For that, I will be working for. Next, there will be a stress-free in decision making. Once you go through the assessment test, insights, the inventories, you become stressed. Okay, now I have understood that I will be opting this and this, and why this is best for me. So this is the third thing. Fourth can be it can build confidence in them. Once they choose their career path, once they go through them short-term goal, they achieve it, and that will build the confidence. Of course, after even building the confidence, there should be a coping mechanism, because there will be challenges. So in that challenges, there will be providing some therapies, maybe like CBT therapy or a talk therapy, where parental involvement is also there. And into approach, it's a step by step approach, I can say. At the very first step, we can go for initial interaction, where there will be a rapport building, where we'll get to know about his or her interest, insights. Then assessment part will come. So into assessment part, again, interest inventories will be there. There will be a lot of discussion onto that. And after that, we'll be exploring on career options, where there will be given certain tests. And then parental involvement will be there. So parent has their own mindset. Parent have heard or listened something from the trends, so need to unlearn few things. You need to unlearn few things which parents have learned. So it comes under this parent involvement, and then we develop an action plan, where we can actually work for that individual student who have came for the career counseling. And then comes stress management and motivation, and then follow up. Yeah, that's how I do.
So
Hello.
that was yeah, thanks, Mr. Sushant. I think that was definitely good insight into your career guidance approach, and I think that's a similar approach we also at MentorMe follow, where we when somebody is approaching us for a guidance, we have an initial interaction, understand what's their requirement, what's their some come with stress, some come with confusion, and some come with ultimate clarity. They know what they want to do in life. There are different sets of students that come to us with different thought process. There are like you mentioned, there are a lot of challenges that come with parents also. Sometimes parents want to stick to certain career paths. They are not willing to, sometimes we feel it's hard to counsel the parents than the students, right? The acceptance sometimes is not there. They're not willing to explore new things, whereas the child wants to explore new things. So yeah, there are a lot of challenges that come, and I think assessment definitely helps. Assessment helps us provide that. Input to the parents, right? We can show to them what type of personality their child has, what type of interest the child has, what aptitude. Everybody has a natural aptitude. So what is the aptitude of the child? And when all these three are aligned, that's where the that's where you will have a right career, the career where your interest, skill, and personality align. That's where you would be more successful, and that's how we put it forward to the parents as well as the students, giving them multiple options, 3 to 5 best careers. Again, no point in giving them a lot, also confusing them further. So we guide them with the top 2 or 3, and then we help them understand what type of jobs are available, or further how they can settle maybe as an entrepreneur or a freelancer. What's the path forward, and how do they reach there, like what's the right course, college, subjects, everything. And like you said, yeah, I think it's not just about the recommendation, but the ongoing support, right? Like you have to handhold the child, counsel. Their interests also change when we counsel students. What we've observed it, somebody who's come in ninth with a certain interest, their interest might change when they reach 10th, right? So it's a continuous process, and we believe in doing that, giving that support to them to land in their dream career. And I think you've also pretty much told us the same approach, and I think that's why it feels great to be a career guidance organization supporting students to land in their future very safely and also in the right method. um, Yeah, so self awareness is a first step in career guidance. And Ms. Bharti, what is the importance of self awareness? You, as a psychologist, I think you would see there is lack of self awareness sometimes, or do you see that people are aware of what their personality is or what their interest is? What is your perspective on self awareness?
I want to mention here one thing, like although a 94% of us are believe that we are all self-aware, but that's not the case. According to the study by organizational psychologist Tasha Urich, only 10 to 15 percentage of us are self-aware. So if
Oh.
that is the case, then we are all adults, even we are not aware like what we are and what is our interest is. So how come the students who are in ninth standard and 10th standard will aware exactly what their interest and needs are? So really this tools or the assessment will be very much helpful for them to know what their interest is. So knowing themselves what their interest is and how they have to set the career path for their future, it's an ongoing process. It's a one day decision or some decision who's actually the parents will take up the decision. It's not like that. It's solely it's our responsibility to know them better, like this is your interest is as you said, like some students may not know exactly what their interest is. So by using some tools and assessment, that will be very much useful for them to know their interest. So according to the interest, if they choose the career, and their academic performance will be very good. So self awareness helps students identify and nurture their passion, ensuring they pursue career they are genuinely enthusiastic about, leading to long term satisfaction and success. So, so I think self awareness is very important.
Thank you. And Ms. Sandhya, Mr. Sushant, you would like to add there?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. I totally agree. It's very important that we are self aware. And yes, I mean, as grown ups, even, we are still learning and growing and introspecting and understanding ourselves. So it would be, very unrealistic to expect the students to be self aware and exactly know what they want to do. Of course, it's going to be a lifelong learning and a very evolving process throughout. So yes, I mean, personality assessment, that would be very starting and a reference point to actually understand what are our strengths and weaknesses and accordingly work towards it. It will help us kind of align our values, interests towards the right career, which would be the right fit for that moment. Of course, it could change over time, but definitely personality assessments on all these tests could be a good reference point to be self aware, right? And it can also help us to set realistic goals, long term and short term both, and we can work accordingly towards it. And it could also help with effective decision making, right? So yes, I feel self awareness, it's an ongoing process. It's very important that we introspect, we seek help from our mentors, career counselors, teachers, family, peers, and yes, we take the right decision in that particular scenario that we are in. And I think that is when we all are needed here because every child is different, his strengths are different. It's very important that we meet with the experts, understand, because they are the right people who can probe the right questions and understand, and they can guide you towards the right career path. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks, Miss
Ah,
Cynthia.
of
Mr.
course,
Sushant.
self-awareness is very important. Self-awareness, self-actualization. Unless and until you're self-actualized, you can't motivate yourself. You can't be a self-motivation person. You will always be needing certain kind of external motivation. I put forward this in very simple example to my students. I tell them, okay, assume that you're going tomorrow for picnic. So there will be n number of questions you might be having. Where are we going? When are we going? What all things we need to be carry with us? What will be seeing over there? What kind of tiffin will be carrying over there? And how we'll be traveling? So you are thinking so much for a simple reason that we are going somewhere to travel. So this is all about your life. So you should have your self actualization. You should have your long term goal, your short term goal, as Sandhya ma'am discussed right now. Because once you have that thing, only then and then you will be self aware, or you will be self actualized. And once you are self actualized, then there is no need of any kind of external motivation to perform or to do your day to day things. So yes, self awareness, self actualization is very important. Always with me.
And what age do you think that kids should start off with career planning or with self-awareness? Like to start with, that would be the first step, right? Know your personality. So, what age would you counselors recommend to start off on career guidance or like just self-awareness itself?
All right. So, Miss Shririsha, that's a brilliant question, I would say, because it is very important to start early. The earlier, the better. I know there are schools who start it from grade six onwards. They don't do it like a full fledged counseling, but just exercises and, activities where the children can think about various careers, right? However, in a practical scenario, it is not always possible for all schools to have it right from grade 6 given their other commitments. But yes, definitely towards the end of grade 8, which we do it at Indus International School, Pune. So towards the end of grade 8, we kind of have these assessments with them, the personality assessments, the aptitude assessment, and these help us to kind of shortlist a few careers. And as soon as they come to grade 9, we start the full fledged counseling. Because if you look at countries like US, UK, Canada, Europe, Australia, they definitely want to see your academic performance starting from grade 9, right? Your academics as well as your extracurriculars, your non academics, your super curriculars. So yes, ideally the earlier the better. However, definitely towards the end of grade 8 is the suitable time with to start the career exploration and self awareness journey. Thank you.
Ms. Bharti, Mr. Sushant, any views from your side?
Yes, same as Sandhya ma'am told, middle school, like grade 6 to 8, then let high school, even in this college, university level, we can do what we do at our school. That there are a number of parents who are entrepreneurs over here, or who are working in very good industries. So we plan a field trip for our students over there. It gives the it gives them a better exposure. It generates interest. Various kind of insights have been generated to students. And then there are other activities like what I can say, extracurricular activities where the interest have been mapped. We make the interest mapping career records, which will help them for further career assessments and their interest inventories.
Yes. Actually, for me, it should start from grade six, because at that age, they'll have multiple choices in their mind. So we can get exactly this is your interest is. So that would be a better thing, I think.
Thank you, everyone. It's great to see, educational institutions, having a in-house counselor and supporting the guidance process. Like you mentioned, Indus is starting, has its own assessments and supporting students, and so is Pratibha School. So it's great to see educators, value guidance and providing that to their students. And I think more and more educators should come forward to have career guidance as a and are definitely available for the students at school, because it is a support mechanism for the students, because they are studying with you, they are preparing for their future. It is one extra, I would say, element needed in the ecosystem, right? If you're talking about the education ecosystem, it's one extra element that is definitely needed in order to support the students, to ensure that whatever they have studied, they are able to utilize it and move forward to the right career. So definitely appreciate, I think, the educational institutions that you're working with and your efforts as well, in guiding these students. So it's great to see that. And we also, as an organization, we are definitely supporting our clients with career guidance, students as well as working professionals. And it feels great to guide somebody to the right career.
So I have a question from Miss Sandhya. I hope I'm audible now properly to everyone. This is a pretty
Yeah.
personal question. From the standpoint was that as a student, I always wanted to choose humanities. Although my parents were adamant that I should choose science, and I went about and I chose science. But at the end of the day, I am pursuing a career in sales. I speak to schools. I practice communication on an everyday basis. We at the end we do what we really like. That's what I understand. And career is an ongoing journey. But if I were to choose what I wanted at that point of time, it would have been great, right? So, what I wanted to understand from you as a career counselor, how you and Mr. Sushant and Ms. Bharati would recommend to talk to a parent from the point of view of their child. That is, humanities is better for them as compared to science, and these are the possible career choices. How do you convince a parent who have a set mindset?
Okay, that's an excellent question, Miss Paridhi. Thank you so much for that. And yes, I mean, like Ms. Shirisha mentioned, that it gets difficult at times to kind of counsel the parents, because yes, they are looking at conventional and traditional careers. However, if you see, the liberal arts schools have mushroomed like anything in India. They've already been there in US, UK, abroad, everywhere. But even in India, schools like Ashoka University, which is like the top school in the country, it's highly selective, right? Flame University in Pune, OP Jindal, I mean, you just name it, and these you'll have like umpteen schools available for humanities. So definitely, STEM is no more the first choice of students. Now we are a school where approximately 150 students every year are in IBDP, the grade 12, right? IBDP and the IBCP, right? These are the two curriculums of IB. And the inclination now has been more towards humanities. You will be surprised, because earlier, definitely, medicine and computer science and law, these were the careers. However, we have seen more number of students wanting to choose humanities as a career, whether it's business, finance, journalism, or any other thing, fashion, art, design. And there are so many careers which are available in humanities, right? So, there is a common understanding that if you do a STEM career, you will get, more kind of money or more opportunities, better jobs. But that's not the case. If you pursue humanities, there are even better opportunities there, in the MNCs and in the society otherwise. So yes, the inclination towards humanities is growing, and I'm very sure that it will have equal importance as the STEM careers enjoy, right? Because I feel, I'll give you an example of an entrepreneur, right? If you are a computer science engineer and you're working in the company which is run by an entrepreneur who is from the humanities background, right? Now, recently I met with one representative from Germany, and as you all know, Germany is known for engineering, right? We have all these best car brands coming from Germany, and they're known for their automotive engineering. So I asked him, because one of my students wants to pursue a business degree in Germany. So I asked him that will he have a scope, after completing his degree, because it's known for engineers. So he told me, ma'am, our engineers can only design the cars, right? But I need some entrepreneurs and businessmen to sell them. So it's even more crucial, the role of humanities and the humanities major. It's getting much more crucial than engineering and medicine. So definitely, Miss Paridhi, this is what we need to talk to the parents. It is very important that first we understand what the parents are looking at, what is their understanding of careers, and accordingly this is how we should explain it to them. Thank you.
I will like to add something more to this. You know, even after giving so much of awareness, creating so much of awareness in parents, sometimes parents are very rigid with their thoughts and which are irrational. So sometimes we have to also give them REBT, is in rational emotive behavioral therapy, where we have to, I told you earlier that we need to unlearn some things. At that time we have to work on their irrational thoughts, where we need to make them understand that what they are thinking or what they feel and what is reality is different. So once they get that insight, only then and then they will support you, they will be on the linear way. Yes.
Miss
I
Sandhya,
think that
any
was
thing that
extremely.
you want to say to the parents? Sorry, Miss Bharti, anything that you want to tell to the parents, like how to come to a middle ground, right? Like accept the thoughts. See, definitely you know better what is better for your child, but sometimes, like Sir said, there is something to unlearn, something to accept. So, what would you recommend as a psychologist to the parents?
Yes, actually, encouraging open communication. They need to create a safe space for the students where they feel comfortable discussing their goals and fears and uncertainties without the fear of judgment. See, they can set a realistic and flexible goals based on the child's ability and interest, not societal standards or personal aspirations. Because these days it's only happening. They are actually pushing. This guy is joined that college and he is doing this course and he want to take up this subject. So why don't we? Because this societal pressure is really giving them harmful harmfulness, their mental health are spoiling a lot. So this need to be changed, and they need to support the students passion and avoid comparing them with the peers. So acknowledging their individuality reduces pressure and boost confidence. So they should provide emotional support, recognizing the signs of the stress if they have, and let them know that their worth is not defined by their academic achievements alone. So they need to tell them very clearly all that. And they need to celebrate efforts, not just the outcomes. See, acknowledge and appreciate their hard work and dedication, even if the results don't meet expectations also sometimes. So there, on that point of view, no, we need to encourage the child in their every, because that is a better way of giving them the emotional resilience for them.
So what I also wanted to highlight here is that Sirisha and team, they have come up with personalized counseling here at MentorMe. So the parental involvement is given utmost importance. So the counseling session, when it happens, of course,
Yes.
we have a set of counselors and psychologists who are a part of it, but the parents are a part of it. We educate them on different career choices, the passion of their kid, the skill set, the aptitude, and why we are suggesting certain career choices to them. So that's what we have really taken care of. Of course, there's room for improvement in every process, and experts like you help us out. But I think because from the monetary point of view, expense point of view, parental decision is extremely important. We can convince the student, but until and unless the parents are convinced that this is what the child should be pursuing, I think the whole process has to be taken care of in that way and from that mindset. Again, one more question that I was curious to ask Mr. Sushant is, you were talking about different processes that you utilize at Pratibha International School. I wanted to understand from you, like from a grade standpoint, if we begin from a student from class 6th or 7th, what is the process exactly that you follow at school? And what are some of the most valuable practices, what the most helpful practices at school?
As I told you, the field trips, you know, when we take students to
Hmm.
visit certain industries, companies, factories, where they see things, who are into productions, who are into services. And we also call parents who are into government services, who maybe are a class one officer like IS or IPS. So they provide their experience, they provide how to be in that profession. So this kind of workshops, this kind of seminars, and this kind of field trips for students right from middle school, it gives them that kind of awareness and also generates that kind of interest and passion building. These kind of things like field trips, as I told you, and webinars and seminars and workshops in school, this definitely helps students.
So you mean experiential learning, right?
Yes,
Participating in those experiences and then getting a hold of what that career would look like for them, and
yes,
how their environment would look like, what kind of people they are going to work with. All of that
ex-
is essential for students to be able to make the right career choice.
exactly, exactly.
Great. I think that's actually a great practice at your end.
Mm.
uh, Mrs. Bharati, you have counseled 70,000 plus students one on one from colleges and universities
Cool.
and schools, of course. What I wanted to understand, what are the most common concerns students or children come up with when it comes to their career or their studies? What are some of those things, in terms of career guidance or counseling? What are the most common issues that they face?
The most common issue is that the parents involvement in their choosing a career path or guidance, because parents always involving each and every action of a child, because we are born and brought up in such a way that always the parents will pamper the kid. No, you do this will be better for you, and this will be very much good for your future. So always no, parents involvement is the I think it's a biggest issue what I have faced. And the thing is, whatever the childrens are telling, no, parents will not listen. See, they used to tell like, yeah, that's fine, but you do this. That's fine, anyways, but you do this. So like that, no, parents involvement, I feel that's a one thing. And another
Right.
thing, the schools must be responsible. I mean, the in inculcate the life skills to the children, as he said, because knowing the academics value alone will not help them to grow in their life. So what I feel is they must know what is life skills, moral values, ethics, everything they need to know, because these days these are all very essential. So we need to inculcate all these skills to the children by giving them the uh, right path. We can say like sitting in one place and doing one thing is not enough for them. They can explore, they let them explore their needs and interests. So I think that would be very much good for their career.
Absolutely. Culmination of both career guidance and life skills is essential to the whole guidance process, because at the end we all know that the job market is cutthroat. You need to be resilient. You need to pursue things with a certain level of dedication, and all of that is required. So of course, and that's why in our organization also we are doing the same. We provide both counseling and life skills as workshops, so we've tried to bring in that element also into the program. I think you all share really valuable insights with us. Sirisha, can we take up the questions now for the speakers that have come?
Yes, sure, Paridi. I'm just scrolling through the questions. I think some of them we have already answered. Like, when should we start thinking about career? I think uh, all the counselors said that it's better to start early, like as early as sixth grade is recommended. Um, there's a question saying, how can I identify my child's strength and skills to guide their career decision?
All right. So thank you for that question. Now, as we discussed, that it's very important that we start early, and personal assessments, it's going to be a starting point, a reference point, right? Now, someone can be good in, say, communication. So definitely we will meet with the student, we'll speak to him, we'll probe him, and we'll identify the strengths, whether he is really fond of communication, what in communication, which area, right? And accordingly we will guide the student and the family. And yes, I mean, there are various activities that can be done in that particular area. For example, communication, you can ask the student to participate in debates, in MUNs. So if the student participates in this, in essay writing competitions, he will have a fair idea, is this something which I enjoy, is this something which is my cup of tea. If not, then definitely we can look at the other career which is being shortlisted in your personal assessment, which generally gives you, say, 3 to 4 careers. So it is very important that we keep exploring in those particular areas. We do online internships, because when it comes to college applications, there's something called as profile building. And for the profile building, you have to do a lot of activities outside of your classroom, right? This is a different topic altogether, but just coming back to that, it is very important that we keep exploring whatever the personality assessment is. It won't be 100% that yes, you are good in communication, so you are going to do a career in communication, right? It could differ. What is important is career exploration, and through various methods of career exploration. So definitely your career counselor will be in a better position to guide you about the careers that are being shortlisted and how you need to go about the exploration. Thank you.
I just want to add on the career exploration. I want to talk about our digital library. So we have a digital library which has extensive information about all the different career options that are available. Because when you're Googling, right, like when you Google, when you try to do your research, a lot of information is not even right. Most of these websites they don't do enough research. There is a lot changing in the education industry. The entrance exams are changing, the colleges are changing, the ratings of the colleges are changing. So there's a lot that this education what you say, the courses are also becoming dynamic, right? With the emerging new technologies, the courses are changing, different specializations are coming up every day. So it's very important to have very well researched information that would be handy for both parents and students, right? So our digital library, I think, is a great career exploration resource, and it provides all the information that you need, whether it is about what jobs would be available, what you need to study, which subjects you have to choose, everything, like what would be a growth path in that career. So I think the parents or students definitely can it will be a great resource for them, and they should take the benefit of these digital library, because it's like a one-stop resource for the career exploration. There's an interesting question in the audience. have some different name on the account. But the question is, I am an engineering student, but it feels like my interest is shifting towards a different field now. How should I prepare myself for this transition? Should I give up my engineering course or start a new course, or should I complete my degree and then switch? I am confused. Please advise. One of you want to take it?
Okay, yes, I'll go ahead with this. So, yes, I mean, it's very natural, when you are, midway in a particular course and you are not able to kind of decide whether this is, something that I want to do in my life. And that is the reason why we need to start early, we need to take the test, and we need to keep exploring so that we learn. Because engineering, you need to have a strong math and a strong physics. It's all about that, right? So, uh, at this moment, what I would recommend is you complete the degree, try and complete it, because you're already midway. I'm not sure which year of engineering you are in, but yes, complete it. And definitely you can look at some other areas once you complete this degree, right? Or there are universities, if you really feel that yes, I cannot do it, then don't force yourself, don't take that pressure. You can look at universities which gives credits, as per NEP. When you complete, say, 1 year or 2 year, you gather those credits. And if your new university and the new course, they are willing to give you, or accept the credits from this engineering degree, please go ahead, gather the credits, and start with a new course. Now, how to go about this new course? So, for definitely, I would recommend the personality assessment, right, with MentorMe. Take the assessment and see which are your strengths, which are the areas, and I'm sure we'll be in a position to guide you, because you need one-on-one counseling. There are a lot of factors that come into picture. We have to probe and check and find out what are your interest areas, what are your hobbies, and accordingly we'll be in a better position to guide you about a new career. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Sandhya. Definitely a valid, I would say, a good advice. And we see that not only with the students, even we
Adding to
see
that,
mid-age classes with the. Go on, sir.
yeah, adding to that, even we need to find out why he or she is not interested in pursuing the engineering,
Right,
because that student is saying that my interest is getting diverted. But then if you already opted for engineering for any reason, so what is the reason which is deriving you away from pursuing engineering? So even that needs to be found out.
right, definitely. Yeah. We also see mid-age crisis with working professionals when we are counseling working professionals, right? There are many who are in a job, in a well paid job, but still they are not very satisfied with what they are doing, and they come to us with a confusion. Why am I not very happy with what I'm doing, or my interest is changing? Even it is very common, not just with students, even with working professionals we see that. And it happens because maybe your personality is not very well aligned with your career, or your interest is not very well aligned. You might have just taken it at some point you've chosen that career based on some advice from a friend or family. You have not put enough thought into it whether this is the right fit for me, right? So I think that's where it leads to a mid-age crisis at a later point, or as a student you are thinking ki, oh, is this the right career for me or not? I think it all stems from the point that you have not put you have not given enough time to your career decision. So you have to give enough time, and you have to give it the right thought. You have to invest some time in deciding the right career. I just want
And
to
just
touch
to
base
add
on
there, I'm
how
sorry, Ms.
technology.
Shirisha, just to add one point quickly,
Sure.
a lot of data says that in the future, the students who are studying now in schools are going to change approximately 5 careers in their lifetime. That is going to be the future, right?
Wow.
Yes, because we coming from the old school, we were quite, I would say, scared of changing and shifting careers because of the limited opportunities. However, the market is very volatile now. There are a lot of job opportunities available, and that is one of the reasons why the students will be making this shift. So, minimum of 5 careers, one student will be changing in his lifetime. That is what the data says at the moment. Thank you.
I think that that's really good to know that the newer generation will be more willing to explore more options. So I think that's really good. Okay, I just
And
wanted to
I
ask
want to
how
add
tech. Okay, go on,
I
ma'am.
want to add up only one point in this. As per psychology, we used to give them that mindfulness techniques. Even if they started up one career and if they don't show any interest in that particular one, and we would like to tell them like do the mindfulness and like no. Full involvement like what they are studying or full involvement complete involvement of what the job they have taken up and still they're not happy, then it should not affect their emotional level, so we would recommend them to change that one. So according to psychology, I'm speaking up. Even then if they start up a courses and taken up a course and they are not interested, and if they prolong with another 4 years or 5 years, it's not actually good for their mental health, I feel. Thank you.
Yes, like Artemis told, mindfulness will bring students to the present timeline, because students they are never always be on the present timeline. They will be always worried
Exactly.
about the future, or they must have done something in the past, so they will be worrying about that. So to bring them on the present timeline, yes, mindfulness is very helpful, which we also practice over here.
Great. Thank you. Thanks. I think great insights from all the experts. How do you think technology is impacting career guidance? Any one of you wants to share some thoughts, like how technology is transforming career counseling?
Yes, exact. Can I? This combining self awareness with technology really creates a holistic approach, enabling students to make informed decisions and adapt to the evolving job market effectively. So this really the tools and the assessment what your the MentorMe is providing to the students will really helpful for them to know what they are, that self awareness. So which allows them to align their goals with their unique strengths, leading to more fulfilling career choices, I feel. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms.
If I
Bharti.
may just
So,
quickly add to this, definitely technology, it is helping all other fields, and AI coming into picture. It's definitely a very, big advantage, I would say, to everyone. And yes, the students will have access to all the information available in the world, right? The best of universities, the best of colleges, best of majors, and everything else that is needed for college planning, right? However, having said that, it is very important that we have access to the right kind of information. As Ms. Shirisha mentioned, that there's so much of information freely available on web, it is very difficult to identify what is authentic, right? And that is when we kind of depend on organizations like MentorMe, which will guide you with the right information, with the updated information. So yes, technology definitely it is very helpful provided we use it in the right way, with the right knowledge. Thank you.
Yeah, so I also wanted to add something here. What we have done differently is that our assessments are AI based. So, like you mentioned, Ms. Sandhya, AI is playing a major role. And as and when the student answers, our questions depend on that because we want to get to the right skill set, right passion, right personality trait. And just to support that, we have, of course, exploration resources, our digital career library, and a web app which links the parent, the student, and also the educator within their schools. So that helps, like that creates a holistic ecosystem, and that's how we are utilizing technology at MentorMe. I'm sure Sirisha would have something to add to it.
Yeah, definitely. I think digital library is another example that I already gave about technology, right? Like you sitting at the comfort of your home, you can still access information about all the careers. You're able to meet a counselor who's sitting, in some other state, still speaking your local language. So we focus on a lot of things. We connect you to the counselor who you want to be connected to. Somebody wants a counselor who speaks in their native language. Somebody wants a counselor who has certain educational background. So we have a wide team of counselors, and we try to connect to you to that counselor virtually, so that you don't have to travel anywhere, because we are all busy in our lives, and parents have very, especially working parents, we have seen, have very less time. Most of them, they want it over the weekend, so we provide them all the flexibility that's possible. And through these webinars are also, right, we are reaching out to so many audiences, not just during the session but after the session also. This information is available for so many to access, to get benefited out of it. And I think hats off to the technology, that era that we are living in, that we are able to reach out to so many, like if you see the team here, like we are joining from different locations. I'm from Bangalore, Paridhi is from Lucknow, you are joining from Pune, ma'am is joining from another location. So we are all able to be in one platform, and I think all that credit goes to the technology, and it's definitely transforming career guidance as well. We are bringing in a lot of expert webinars for the students as well as working professionals. So we are in this journey of supporting, and we will continue to do that. Okay, I think we are at the top of the hour. We'll wrap up the session. Thanks a lot to each and every one of you to that you've come here. You've shared your thoughts, really insightful views that you have given, and we are, I would say, definitely bottom of my hand. From bottom of my heart, I'm really thankful that you all shared your valuable views here, and I'm sure all the students and people who are looking for career guidance or looking at career planning will be definitely appreciating this session. Anything you want to add?
So yeah, I personally want to thank all of you. I understand that, you all have very busy schedules, and, during that time also you were, answering all my questions and helping me out and responding to me all the time. So that was really, really kind of all of you. And the way you took personal interest in each of the questions, whether it was from us or parents, it was great. It was really great having a panel like this on board with us. And we also would want to have future conversations on similar sort of topics suggested by you or anyone else from our team. So thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you, Ms. Shirisha and Ms. Paridhi, and thank you, Mr. Sushant and Ms. Bharati. It was a wonderful and a very healthy conversation. So, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm sure my co speakers equally enjoyed the discussion. Thank you.
Same here, same here. Thank you to all of you. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful session, really. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.